I have dropped my prediction for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so I think it's high time that I drop my predictions for the Pittsburgh Steelers just so I can go ahead and get them out of the way. I kind of already did in the last video when I said I think they're going to be the AFC representative of the Super Bowl. I'm sticking to my guns on that one. But I although I am a Buccaneers fan, I do support the Steelers, because NFC, AFC. I might as well support a team from the AFC, and I've always kind of liked the Steelers. They've always had a fire uniform to me, and big reason of me really being a fan of them is because watching AB in his prime was fucking ridiculous. So I'm not a fan, but I do support the Steelers. I'm not a fan of them like I am the Buccaneers. Like if it came down to the Bucs versus Steelers, I'm going Bucs all the 100% of the way. But I still do support the Steelers for the AFC side. So, let's go ahead. I just like to go ahead and get that out of the way. What I'm going to do is same basic concept of what I did last time. I'm just going to be going through the schedule and giving my prediction on what I think the record's going to be, and let's just see how things go. But like I said, I'm a Buccaneers fan because I live in Florida, and the Steelers is just more of a team that I like to support outside of the Bucs, considering, they're from the AFC and everything. So I guess that was just a team that I picked. But I do think the Steelers are an underrated team that's going into this season. I think if Russell Wilson plays like I know he's capable of playing, he did not have a bad season last year. He really did not. He is not the reason the Broncos were ass last year. So I believe if Russell Wilson returns to at least a fraction of what he once was, I do think the Steelers are title contenders. Talented roster. Najee Harris, although people like to say that he, isn't good, he's not elite, but he isn't bad. He's a 1,000 rushing yard running back. So I think he needs to be given the respect he deserves. And George Pickens, this is his third year. He had a breakout talent year last year. Although he's a bit of a diva, Pittsburgh just can't seem to draft receivers that have brains in their head. I mean, AB, talented as fuck, but, let's face it, bro has completely lost it for some reason. I hope he gets back to his normal self one day. And Juju just wanted to be a fucking, I guess, TikTok star. He wanted to be an influencer instead of a football player. And then we had Chase Claypools, who was just okay at best. He was almost downright trash. Costing us pretty much almost, he kind of did cost us a game against, a comeback game against the Vikings like 2-3 years ago, something like that, because he wanted to taunt his first down instead of winning the game. And then, Devontae Johnson, who was good, but not elite, so it's pretty crazy how good Pittsburgh is at eyeballing receiver talent and drafting it, but for some reason, we just can't get them to either have a brain in their skull or, not be a fucking diva who looks like they belong on an episode of The Kardashians. And now we got George Pickens. I think George Pickens is talented, and I think he will be an excellent receiver this year because he is fucking talented and very fun to watch. And the defense speaks for itself. The defense is one of the many strengths of the Pittsburgh Steelers. TJ Watt deserved a Defensive Player of the Year last year. I think even Myles Garrett would agree with you on that one, but, it is what it is. And Micah Fitzpatrick is the second best safety in the league, right behind Anton Winfield Jr. And, I think Mike Tomlin is a great coach. He's been kind of a meme here recently with the whole, only going 9-8 and shit like that. But he has been a great coach. The talent is there on that team. It's not clicking. It's not being put together. The offense is the biggest problem that the Steelers had last year. And it's honestly the biggest problem that they've had for a number of years. Since the Killer Bees left town. That's what Pittsburgh has been failing to do, is to build an identity for their offense. So they really do. I do think if they click it together, they will be a Super Bowl team because they got the talent to be it. So they definitely can do it. So let's just kick this off right now with Pittsburgh bringing Atlanta to town. I mean, we have a 15-2 record against them. They've only beaten us twice. We pretty much own the Falcons. So I'm going to go ahead and say that it's not going to be any different. The season opener against the Falcons is going to be. I think we're going to win pretty handily. I think we're going to win. Well, no, it is a new team. The Falcons do have Kirk Cousins. I'm going back on it. I do think we're going to win, but it's going to be a close fought game. I think it's going to be a 23-20 victory over the Falcons. Moving on to the Broncos, I actually have us losing to the Broncos. Funny enough, I have the Steelers losing to the Broncos. They're probably going to be. It's going to be one of those games where Russell Wilson goes back to face the Broncos, and it's going to be a loss. It's going to be a loss. It's going to be a close loss though. It's going to be. I say we lose in a close tested game in a very low scoring one of that. I think we're going to lose 17 to 10. That's going to be the score. Moving on to LA, it's going to be Pittsburgh at LA SoFi Stadium against the Chargers. I say we're going to beat the Chargers. New coach and everything. The offense for the Chargers has gotten very, very worse since the losing Keenan Allen, and I don't know, did they lose Mike Williams? Yes, they did. Wow, he's on the Jets. Wow, okay, so I didn't even know that. But yeah, I think the Steelers will beat the Chargers. I think we're going to beat them. I think we're going to beat them in a close game, though. A close game. It's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be 20-10. 20-10. That's going to be the victory. Moving on to the Colts. I think we're going to beat the Colts. I expect Anthony Richardson to blow up. I do. But I also expect the Pittsburgh's defense to be solid like they've been being. So I think that we're going to hold them. I think we're going to hold them. I think we're going to beat them. 27 to 9. I think we're going to beat them 27 to 9. That's no knock to the Anthony Richardson, because I do believe he's going to have a breakout year. If he does not get injured, I think he will be a stud. I really do. Moving on to the Cowboys, this will be interesting. This is going to be a very interesting game because my dad's a Cowboys fan. So it's going to be fun to, crowd around the TV and, watch a football game again like that. So it's going to be fun. So I am anticipating this game. Not quite as much as the Bucs game because, Bucs are my, number one team. But I'm definitely anticipating this one too, a little bit. But I do have the Steelers winning. Make no mistake of that. I have West winning. And I think we beat the shit out of them. I do. I think the defense is going to make Dak Prescott look garbage, like he is. I think we're going to beat them. I think we're going to fucking destroy them in an absolute clobbering 40-10. Yeah, 40-10. I'm saying it right now. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid on this game. I think we're going to destroy them. Now, the Raiders. I have us losing. I have us losing to the Raiders. I think this is a trap game. It looks like on the surface a game that we should win, but we end up losing. I think we're going to lose to the Raiders. I think it's going to be a very low-scoring affair. No, not very, but it's going to be low-scoring. It's going to be 24 to 27. I feel like that's going to be the scorecard, and the Raiders are going to take home the victory. Now, the Jets. I also have us losing to the Jets. I think Aaron Rodgers, I know he's been looking off in practice and he's not showing up and everything. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to return to MVP Aaron Rodgers. And let's say he does. If he does, then yes, we lose. I think we're going to lose. I think we're going to lose in a very, very entertaining game. 36-30. That's what's going to be the score. Moving on to the next New Jersey team, but this time this one is not very good, led by a certified high school teacher, Danny Diapers. At least that's what he should be doing instead of being a football player, because he absolutely sucks at football. We're going to destroy the Giants. There's not going to be a game. 40-0. Next. Moving on to the Commanders. I have us beating the Commanders. I do. I think we're going to beat the Commanders 20-3. 20-3. I think we're going to beat them 20-3 because it's going to be a low-scoring game. It's going to be a defensive battle, and I think the defense for Pittsburgh is going to prevail. Moving on to the Ravens. We practically own the Ravens, but I don't think we're going to sweep them like we did last year. So I'm going to go ahead and say that they beat us in their stadium. They're going to beat us in their stadium 28-27. It's going to be a very close game, but they are going to beat us. They're going to get the victory over us. Moving on to the Browns, we're going to beat the Browns just like the Ravens. We own the Browns pretty much, apart from the wild card round 2021, but we don't talk about that. But seriously, though, we're going to beat the Browns. I mean, we're not going to lose to a fucking certified sex offender. Okay, that's not what's going to happen. But, Deshaun Cosby's not going to be beating us. There's not going to be any roofies that's going to be planted this time. No, not on my watch. But I say we're going to win in a low-scoring game, 19-17. Moving on to the Bengals, I think we're going to beat the Bengals because we're at home. I feel like I think we're going to split with the Bengals. I think we're going to split with everybody in the division except the Browns. I think we're going to sweep the Browns because they're the Browns. I know everyone likes to hop on the bandwagon now and cheer them on like there's some sort of, elite team because they snuck into the playoffs last year on the back of, an old crippled Joe Flacco that didn't deserve the comeback player of the year. It should have been Baker Mayfield. All biases aside, even anybody could have saw that it should have been Baker Mayfield that won that award. But I digress. We're not losing to a team that doesn't have a quarterback, and but they have Jameis Winston and Deshaun Cosby back there. Wow, what is this? This is actually what fucking Kendrick was dissing Drake about. That you have sex offenders on payroll and shit. But I'm not even talking about the Bengals right now. I went off on the whole tangent. We're going to beat the Bengals. We're going to beat the Bengals, and we're going to beat them. We're going to beat Joe Burrow 26-23. It's going to be a very close game, but I see us winning. Moving on to the Browns, like I said, we're going to beat the Browns. It's going to be in their stadium, but we're going to beat them. It's going to be a knockout punch. It's going to be 33-22. That's what's going to be the score. Moving on to the Eagles, I think we're going to beat the Eagles, but I do see the Eagles being way better than they were last year. I know they were kind of, they fell off at the end of the year and got absolutely steamrolled by the Buccaneers, in the wild card round. But I think the Eagles are going to lose. But it's not going to be a blowout or anything. I think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to go ahead and say it's going to be a 29-24 game. That's what's going to be the scorecard. Moving on to the Ravens, I'm going to go ahead and say this is where we, avenge the loss that we took to them. And we're going to beat them in a close 19-10 game. And like I said, I have us splitting with every division rival opposed from the Browns. That's the only one I think we're going to sweep. And I do have us winning the division. I do have us ended up winning the division. But the Ravens, I do have us avenging, the loss. Because it's always a close game between the Ravens and Steelers. It's never a blowout. And here recently it's been low scoring games. That's why I have it so low scoring. So I do have the Steelers winning against the Ravens. Moving on to the Chiefs, we're going to lose to the Chiefs. But we're going to lose narrowly. This is going to be the game that is going to make everyone be like, holy shit, maybe the Steelers aren't a joke. Maybe they are legitimate. We're going to win. We're going to lose. We're going to lose in a close scoring game, 27-29. That's going to be the score, and it's going to be an absolute joy to watch. Moving on to the Bengals, I think we're going to lose to the Bengals. That's what's going to happen. We're gonna take an L from the Bengals because we already beat them. I say we lose 20. I say we're going to lose 27-20. 27-20. It's going to be by a touchdown. So yes, I do have Pittsburgh winning 11 games. I do have us going 11-6. We're going to get into the playoffs, and I think that they are going to go on a run. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be the AFC representative in the Super Bowl. And the NFC representative is going to be the Packers. I'm telling you. I know it's going to shit. I really hope I really hope someone doesn't point this out whenever this is wrong by the end of the fucking season.